It's a U.S.-China face-off. Russia hammers Kyiv, and a new boss for the Federal Reserve. Greetings, humanity! Let's grok the news, starting with the most important story in the world today. Dateline Beijing. President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping opened high-stakes summit talks today in Beijing's Great Hall of the People, aiming to stabilize the world's most critical bilateral relationship amid trade tensions, Taiwan flashpoints, and the ongoing Iran conflict. Trump arriving with a powerful delegation, including NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang and other tech leaders, such as Elon Musk, described the meetings as potentially the biggest summit ever. Xi welcomed Trump and his $10 trillion entourage with full military honors and pageantry before leaders held extended private discussions. Trump emphasized strengthening economic ties and urged China to play a more active role in pressuring Iran toward a durable ceasefire. "We have a lot of work to do together," he said, while praising Xi as a strong leader. Xi responded by hailing progress in trade talks, but issued a firm warning: mishandling the Taiwan issue could push relations into a dangerous place. The two sides agreed to pursue a constructive, strategic, and stable framework for future engagement, according to Chinese state media. The summit occurs against a backdrop of global economic strain from the Iran war, which has driven up oil prices, inflated wholesale costs, and disrupted shipping lanes. U.S. officials, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, pressed China to help isolate Tehran and further destabilization in Asia. Trump's team also seeks concessions on technology transfers, market access for American businesses, and curbs on Chinese support for adversarial regimes. Beijing, in return, wants relief from tariffs and assurances on arms sales to Taiwan. Analysts note the talks carry outsized importance. A successful outcome could ease supply chain pressures and lower consumer costs back home, aligning with Trump's America First priorities on borders, energy independence, and economic security. Failure risks deeper fragmentation in global trade and heightened military tensions. Religious liberty advocates and human rights voices hope that Trump will raise the plight of faith communities and political prisoners in China, though public readouts so far focused on pragmatic deal-making. Pomp marked day one, with Trump touring symbolic sites and both leaders projecting cordiality. Yet underlying rivalries remain sharp. Markets reacted unevenly, reflecting cautious optimism. The two-day summit continues with expanded delegations. For American families feeling the pinch of higher prices, the stakes are concrete: cheaper goods, secure supply chains, and reduced risk of broader conflict. Trump has signaled he will not sacrifice U.S. interests for optics, keeping national security and economic strength at the forefront. I'm Robert Gardner, using Grok each weekday to truthfully summarize the news. Well seasoned, of course, with my own opinions. You can hear it sometimes, and sometimes I just put it right out there for you. We review a roundup of the most critical reports in the world right after this. God with Us, the story of Jesus, is a full blending of all the Gospels into one continuous narrative, missing nothing from the Savior's life. Inspired by the majestic text of the King James Bible, God with Us is adapted to modern language, formatted for easy reading. A faithful paraphrase divided into brief stories, fit for daily Bible study. Find God With Us by Robert Gardner. Well, that's me. Find God With Us at Amazon.com or wherever books are sold. Now we grok the news headlines from around the world. Dateline Kyiv. Russia unleashed a massive overnight barrage of drones and ballistic missiles on the Ukrainian capital and other cities, killing at least 2 people, injuring dozens more, as rescuers searched rubble in residential areas. The strikes highlight Moscow's continued aggression, despite international calls for peace. Dateline Washington, D.C. The U.S. Senate confirmed Kevin Warsh as the new Federal Reserve Chair, ending a standoff and installing Trump's pick to steer monetary policy through Iran war-induced inflation pressures. The move signals steadier economic stewardship for American families. Dateline New York, New York. A U.S. citizen was convicted of running a secret Chinese police station in New York City, part of Beijing's global intimidation network targeting dissidents. If you're Chinese and you live abroad, you may know what this is about. The verdict underscores ongoing national security threats on American soil, even as President Trump meets with Chinese leadership. Dateline South Carolina. South Carolina's Supreme Court has overturned Alex Murdaugh's murder convictions in the notorious killings of his wife and son, ordering a new trial. The stunning legal reversal reignites one of America's most watched true crime cases. Dateline Manila. Gunfire erupted inside the Philippine Senate as authorities attempted to arrest a senator wanted by the ICC, triggering chaos and a dramatic escape. The incident exposes deep political divisions and rule of law tensions. Dateline London. The UK Chancellor warned a leadership contest would bring chaos as Deputy PM Angela Rayner was cleared over tax affairs. The turmoil adds pressure on Prime Minister Keir Starmer amid Iran conflict headwinds and, of course, a catastrophic election for Labour. This observer thinks the UK government could use some good old-fashioned chaos, at the very least. Well, perhaps not gunfire, like in the Philippines. Dateline, the global energy markets. The Iran war continues driving record oil stock drawdowns and higher airfares across Europe, while nations scramble for alternatives. U.S. officials press for Strait of Hormuz stability to protect consumers. All eyes are on China. This observer knows that no one is looking to Europe for any kind of help whatsoever. Dateline Michigan. Democratic candidate Abdul El-Sayed has opened a commanding 10-point lead in Michigan's Democratic Senate primary poll, reshaping the race for a key battleground seat ahead of midterm contests. Dateline South Carolina. A Rhino Republican state Senate leader, Shane Massey, blocked his own party's redistricting push, claiming competition strengthens conservatives. The move frustrates GOP efforts to secure fairer voting maps. With Republicans like Massey, who needs Democrats? This observer wonders if someone got to him, and over what, or for how much. Or was he always just a Democrat in elephant's clothing? Dateline Washington, D.C. The CIA reportedly took custody of sensitive JFK assassination and MK Ultra files from director Tulsi Gabbard's team in a documented transfer. This was not a raid, but it does renew questions about historical transparency. Dateline: the global economy. U.S. and U.K. inflation surged to multi-year highs, fueled by Iran war energy shocks, with wholesale prices rising sharply and squeezing household budgets worldwide. This observer knows the economy is rough. Why, it took a war at one of the world's fuel choke points for prices to return to Biden-level eras, which tells you how disastrous his administration was. Oh, and speaking of communist leadership, Dateline Havana. Cuba's energy minister admitted the island has run out of diesel and oil supplies, deepening a severe crisis that threatens daily life and highlights socialist economic failures. This observer wonders how long before Marco Rubio is running the nation of his grandparents. Dateline Indonesia. Mass sex abuse allegations forced the closure of Endolokusumo Islamic Boarding School, a major Indonesian girls' facility, exposing systemic failures in protecting children and sparking national outrage over accountability. Dateline India. Investigators in India are puzzled by multiple deaths linked to rat poison contamination in watermelons in Mumbai, as authorities test samples and warn consumers amid food safety fears. Here's a global dateline for you. Madonna, Shakira, and BTS will headline the World Cup halftime show, promising a high-profile cultural spectacle as the tournament approaches, amid visa and security debates. Dateline Washington, D.C. Here we go. The United States dropped the $15,000 visa deposit requirement for foreign World Cup ticket holders, easing entry barriers while maintaining security screening for this upcoming tournament. This observer is glad he doesn't have to pay to avoid the World Cup and its halftime show. Frankly, I thought Madonna was in a nursing home by now. But I thank you for listening. Please join me tomorrow to once again Grok the News. I'm Robert Gardner. Godspeed and God bless.